Okay, I recently purchased a Chilean model 1895 rifle from an auction. The gun outwardly looked fine, but I ran into a problem. If you look at my other video on how to remove a frozen action screw or how to cut one out, the forward action screw was stuck. I mean, wouldn't move nothing. And so I decided, because the condition of the gun, to drill it out and get it apart, because I wanted to look at it. I did notice that there was pitting under the wood line. When I took the handguard off, there was some heavy pitting. And it's a common problem with rifles that were sent down to South America, irregardless of the model. But you'll find them, the most common ones you will find are the 1893s, the 1895 like this, or even more recent ones, the different contracts. What happens is they store the guns, I guess, in a very piss poor location. And I don't know if it's from the humidity or the climate or the way they stored them, but what will happen is moisture gets up under the wood and will rot. I call it myself, I call it South American jungle rot, but it is a common occurrence with these guns. And we'll look at this. When you look at the rifle, okay, basically, you know, outside the wood line, everything looks nice. The bore on this gun is exceptionally nice. But then underneath the wood line, you start to get rust, and you see it here. This is really terrible rust. And it's not visible from the outside. Runs along the receiver and everything else. Because see, the bolt and everything looks fairly well. Nothing terrible. But you get this gunk up in there. And the thing is, when I drilled out the screw is loose. I can turn it. But the head of the screw is frozen into the trigger guard. So you're going to have to we're going to have to clean this up. And the wood here, if you look down in there, you see where this is all gunky and rust and all this residue. The rifle was actually, the metal part was stuck to the wood, frozen. I had to tap it out. And even though I got the screws out, the trigger guard won't come out. So what the plan is, basically, I'm going to put this in a padded vise, take a punch and kind of try to, you know, hitting down into here, try to tap this out as gently as I can without damaging anything. And then I'm going to have to get a soft brush of some sort and clean all this crap out of the stock. And then we'll go on to treating the wood or the metal parts. Okay, so got it in a padded vise. I got some small punches and a hammer. And first thing I'm going to try to do is get the rest of that bolt head out. I may or may not. I might have to machine it out. And then I'm going to try to tap the trigger guard down out. I'm not going to tape it because I don't know how long it's going to take, but you get the idea how to set it up and do it. Okay, this is a little bit worse than I thought. This thing keeps getting worse. We got the trigger guard out. As you see, this piece here, I believe this larger round cylinder is supposed to be in the stock and not attached like it is. It's all fused together. And if you look, the bolt head that I tried to machine out is still in there. So I may have to go and get an end mill of the same size and run it down in there and clean that up on the Bridgeport. But the rust and again everything, once again, now we get into a pretty major restoration project. Oops, with this here. Alright, I got the stock fairly well cleaned up here. The oxidation and the rust will actually leach into the wood and what I did was just scrape it all out. I mean, it's all the way down. It was up in here, right on the edges. You could see some of it still left. But you try, it's heavy, gritty, grainy stuff. And what I did is I scraped most of it off with steel wool, a brush, and a screwdriver. Got all the crap out of there. You look down into the mag well, you know, then again over here. And yeah, that is a stock spacer or whatever is frozen to the trigger guard. So this is done, and now what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to get some ballistol over there, and I'm going to kind of rub that into the wood area. Try to draw. It's a moisture repellent lubricant. It also breaks down rust. Okay, so I'm going to treat this and then set this off to the side and start to work on the metal. Okay, as you see, after it's all cleaned, I put a liberal coat of the ballistol on all the inletted things on the stock. And up into the trigger guard area too. So now we're going to just take this and set it aside. And then before I assemble it, I'll take a rag and just wipe off the excess. I put a liberal amount on there, kind of let it soak in. Hopefully it'll stop the oxidation or rust, or at least loosen it up or whatever. So we're going to let this go off to the side and sit for now. Okay, now for the metal part. Best thing to do is disassemble the gun, get the trigger and all the other stuff off, the ejector and bolt stop. And I put all the small parts in a bucket, soak the hell out of them, and just leave them there with the ballistol. This stuff will eat the rust away. And as you see, I put it in some heavy corrosion areas, just to give you an idea. And this, you might have to let this sit for a long time, you know, like weeks, for it to get, to lift it out. But I put some on there in the heavy corrosion areas. And another subscriber suggested this. This is a Big Frontier, or Big 45 Frontier metal cleaner. You order this thing. Let me get it out of the package and I'll show you how we're going to use that. Alright, when you're cleaning the rust off, the idea is you want to remove the rust, but any of the bluing that's left, you don't want to take that off. So sandpaper, sandblasting, or you know, whatever isn't going to work. You can either use fine aught, triple aught steel wool. You get it in furniture refinishing, or where they refinish furniture or wood. That's what I did. I did use this on the stock. Or you can try this stuff here. Now it's the same idea as the steel wool. The idea is it'll remove the rust and grime, but it will not. Actually kind of shines the bluing. See, it doesn't scratch the bluing off like a piece of sandpaper or something would. So you're going to have to sit there and work at this. And what I'm going to do is get all the real rugged stuff off this gun, the heavy oxidation. Get the loose stuff off and then re-soak it. It's pitted. Re-soak this and leave it set on there, you know, for days, and then just let it set for a few days after I get the heavy stuff off. This first cleaning will get the heavy loose stuff that can come off. Then I'm going to go and I'll leave the ballistol on there and let it soak in, and then keep working at it with this. You know, maybe I'll just come out and oil it down, you know, spray some of this on there several times. I mean, a lot of it. During the course of the week, then come out next Saturday and scrape it down. It's a shame though, because internally the gun and the bore is nice. It may still shoot good. The pits don't look that deep to where I don't think anything's eaten down to where it'd be dangerous to fire the gun. But this is going to be something I'm going to be working on for a while here. This is not going to be an easy fix. So I'll close out this video, and probably when I'm done, weeks from now, I'll post another video showing you how it all kind of come out. But that's the name of the game. In a lot of these South American guns, that's the way you find them. Alright, after soaking the gun and our complete disassembly of the parts, as you can see, there is a bit of damage to just about everything. The pitting got in there pretty good, but everything cleaned up and should be functional. You know, trigger guard, the floor plate, barrel bands are in good shape. The bolt, even though it's mismatched, is in good shape, so it's probably not the original bolt. But as for the barrel and receiver, we do have heavy pitting there, around the bottom, real bad on the one side. And the barrel, even though it's quite deep on this side, I still don't believe it's anything that we can't fire it. The stock, on the other hand, cleaned up well. After I got rid of all the stuff in there, that looks good. It looks like it'll be alright. You know, it's a shame because the bore is just about mint. And there's our anchor and star crest of the Chilean Navy. So now I'm going to just wipe it all down, wipe off the excess, reassemble everything, and get it back together, and let's see what we got. There we go, all back together and all spiffed up. As you can see, the wood isn't bad. There is some sort of a name in there. The butt plate's seen better days, but like I said, when you look at it, it isn't quite terrible from the outside. You just don't see that pitting underneath there. And that's the way it was when I found it at the auction. You know, it is kind of a rarer version of the Chilean Mausers, but it cleaned up fairly nice. And like I said, the only reason I bought this gun, I didn't even realize it was the naval contract model, was the fact the bore was very, very nice, almost mint, which that could be a good thing or a bad thing. It means there's something mechanically wrong and a gun was never fired. I don't know. We'll find out later. Little bit of a... My camera don't want to focus. Might be time for a new camera. But not too bad. And like I said, I didn't get crazy. You can see that. Got a little beat up there. These little retainers ain't too terrible. So all in all, cleaned up fairly well. Even though it was rather difficult getting the action free, but kind of had to. That rust was terrible in there. Alright, so that ends my cleaning, breaking apart the gun by using excessive force. And we'll probably do a review of this gun, take a look at it, and go over it as the model in another video.